Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 25 of Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Skyblock with myself, Reliikgaming. So, the end of the last episode then, we met with an unfortunate death, which was basically due to us handling the uranium which we needed for the jetpack, which we got out of the thermal centrifuge over here. So we'd handled that without the correct protection, which we have now found out was the hazmat suit, which we are going to start off with this episode by making, just to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And then we'll stick that on an armor stand, say next to the thermal centrifuge, just so that we don't forget to put that on for future use. And I've managed to gather together all the bits for that. It's not particularly complicated. So we need some of this orange dye, and that is made up by some rose red and some dandelion yellow. So if you just put those in like that, then we get a bunch of this orange dye. And then we're going to need a fair amount of the rubber, because that seems to be the basis of all of these items. A bit of glass and some iron railings, which we've got as well. Oh yeah, and a bit of wool. So hopefully we can just nip over to the crafting table and pop those bits together, and then we can get on with the task that we were originally doing. So let's just pop that in there. So we got one helmet, we've got one of those, which it doesn't seem to want to recognize. That is because we have got some of that at the top. So we'll take that out. And then we're going to need some trousers, which is fine. So we just need to take those out. And finally, the boots, which is that. And for whatever reason, that didn't seem to want to shift click in. Now, I'm not sure at the moment why that is. That wouldn't seem to make that much sense, but we've definitely got the bits that we need for it. So let's just do it manually as always. So we'll pop that in there, and then a bit of the wool, and there are our boots. So in order to basically make this jetpack then, let's just go back to that now, because that was after all what we needed the uranium for in the first place. We are going to need to make these hardened thrusters, and to make the hardened thrusters, we need the hardened flux duct. No, it wasn't the hardened flux duct. It was the reactant dynamo. And that was basically where the uranium comes in. And I think we're going to need two of those, because we need two of the thrusters. And we need to just grab all of these bits together first. So first of all, then let's make the transmission course. We need two of those. So let's just nip over here. We'll grab out some of the silver, which I'm hoping I remember to put in here. I'm sure I did. Yes, we did. So a couple of bits of that, 4 bits of redstone. And let's just nip over to this. Whoa, what's going on there? Let's just nip over to this crafting table and just put that together really quickly, like so. And seemingly, I can't put things on the correct side of the crafting table. Fine. And then we are going to need, just go back into here. So we've got that. We've got a redstone chipset. Oh yeah, we're going to need the bronze gears. Now, I made the correct amount of those in preparation. So we'll grab those out as well. And we are going to need some Invar, I think, as well. Let's just double check on that. No, that wasn't the one. There we go. And no, we're not going to need some Invar for that. We are just going to need the uranium and the redstone chipsets and some bronze ingots. So let's grab some redstone chipsets. Just grab them all out for now. Let's grab out, so we won't grab the uranium just yet, that would be a bit of a silly mistake to make. We will put on our hazmat suit like this, and I'm just really fingers crossed that this is actually the item that we need. And yeah, so to test it out then, I suppose we should pick up this uranium. But first of all, I just want to have a quick look and see what that looks like. Yeah, that is looking pretty good. So yeah, let's grab out the uranium, and fingers crossed we've got the right thing. It's looking good so far. And just a last check that we've got the bits that we need to make these reactant dynamos. Yeah, we've got all of those bits. So let's just head over to the crafting station. And the sooner that I've got this uranium out of my hands, the happier I am going to be. So let's just pop that in there, shift click that in. There are our 2 reactant dynamos. That is absolutely fantastic. So let's make ourselves a quick armor stand. So we need a couple of bits of the iron. We need some of the, in fact, we already had some iron. We need some slabs as well. And if we head over to the crafting station and just pop that together as well, as I say, then the chances of us forgetting this in the future are reduced significantly. Well, I would hope so anyway. And I'm fairly sure there must be a shortcut key to just take stuff off and put it onto an armor stand, but I don't know what that is, so I am just going to, you know what, where should we put this? Let's just put it actually against here, because then it's a little bit out of the way. Now, if we click on it, there we go. It's as simple as that. And of course, we've still got the uranium. And that was a really, really silly thing to do. And now we're going to die. Okay, so luckily we didn't die. It took a couple of minutes for the radiation poisonous to wear off. But I am going to pop that over there because that would seem like the safest thing to do. And now we can just put this back on here. And we haven't got to worry about getting poisoned again. So that's fine. We'll leave that there. And now let's just go and get the rest of the bits together then that we need to make these thrusters. And in all the excitement, once again, I've forgotten how to do it. In fact, what we need is not to just randomly click on stuff. What we need then is this hardened fluxter, and that's going to require some hardened glass, some steel plates, some redstone, and some redstone chipsets. So I know we've got all those bits and pieces in there. So we'll grab some redstone, we'll grab the plates. And again, hopefully we can just shift click these in and this process will be much quicker for it. And like so, and there we go. That will be enough for this particular task. And now hopefully we've got all the stuff. I know we just need a couple of redstone reception coils as well. And once we've got that, hopefully we are in a position where we've got everything we need just to pop this together. Unless, of course, I've forgotten something else, which, of course, is entirely possible with me as well, you know. Right, so there we go. Pop that in there. And let's just have a quick check and see. No, of course. I knew I'd forget something. I've left the invar over here. And where is the invar? There it is. Okay, so let's put this together then, and rather than risk shift clicking this in again, I am just going to do it manually because that would seem to make sense. So we'll put our reception coils in, a couple of pieces of that either side, the 2 reactant dynamos, a couple of bits of redstone, and finally our invar. And fingers crossed that this works, which it does. Excellent. So there are our 2 of those. And can I just grab that out? Right, there we go. Fine. And then I think we just need the hardened flux capacitor because obviously we've already got the jetpack. And that's going to be easy. All we need is some copper, some lead, some sulfur, and some electrotine. So we'll grab that out, and that's going to allow us to make the leadstone version of that. So some of that, some sulfur, and some lead. Let's just quickly get that thrown together like so. And do you know what? Should we risk it and try and shift click it in? Yeah, there we go. That's the one and only time that will obviously work today. And just take out those bits. And now the hardened version of that again, just pretty much the same, some electrotine, but we're going to need some invar and some tin. I know we've got invar on us obviously already. I don't remember if I had any tin in here. Yes, we have. So let's go and do that. Now, I think this is the one that wouldn't just automatically click in last time. And yeah, it won't again this time. So there is definitely something with that one whereby it just doesn't really like us that much. But that's fine. We'll do it manually. Just takes a couple of seconds longer. There's our leadstone, one of those. And then finally a bit of tin at the bottom. And now we've got all the bits together for our new jetpack and just need to take our old one off like so. And now we should be able to, in fact, let's just go back into the crafting table. Now we should be able to just put this together. And yeah, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way as well, just because I want it to work first time, so we don't spend any more time than we have to on this task. Excellent. And there we go. There is our hardened jetpack. And this is going to make life so much easier. So let's just sleep really quickly. And no, it's not nighttime, it's just really overcast. We can now put this on, and you can straight away see that we have got a load more RF capacity, and this will probably take a couple more seconds just to fill up. In fact, no, this is actually really quick as well. So this redstone charge pad, yeah, the transfer rate on that is, what's that? 1000 RF per tick, so that is pretty handy. And now, again, yeah, there we go. It's probably going to be a little bit faster getting about as well. I think the hover mode definitely feels a little bit better. And until we've got some far better materials, we're not really going to be able to move on to this next one because we are... In fact, no, we're probably not that far. We're probably not that far off of that. But do you know what? I'm okay with the one that I've got at the moment. Okay, so the next thing on the list then is I really want to start to improve some of our processes so that when we want items, we can get them faster. And a good example of that at the moment is the assembly table, because we've only got a couple of the lasers, and whenever we want stuff, yeah, it's taking quite a while. And as we move forward, we're going to be more and more reliant on some of the casings and items, etc., that this thing produces. But in order to actually make that any better, what we're going to need is a better system of power, or a better supply of power. And there are a bunch of different options for this. And the one that I'm kind of most interested at the moment is solar power. Now, mainly because I've not really sort of delved into this before, and yeah, I kind of really want to. Now, the way that this works is each one of these items, as you sort of move up the chain, creates more and more RF per tick and has more storage, so that they're better items. And it relies on you making a bunch of the different ones further down the chain as you go up. So, for example, the leadstone solar panel, it basically produces 1 RF per tick, which is pretty rubbish, until you get up to the ultimate solar panel, which produces 32,000 RF per tick, which obviously is really good. And in order to sort of get up there, we're obviously going to need to have access to some materials that we haven't got at the moment, namely the first one being the resonant solar panel, which is going to require us to have enderium, which we obviously haven't got a great source of ender pearls at the moment because the mob farm, yeah, it's pretty basic, and that's something that we're going to have to address quite soon in the future. But we can get up to the redstone solar panel, which requires us to have some electrum and some invar, etc., some lead. Now, obviously, making all of this by hand, so in order to get the hardened solar panel, we need 8 of the leadstone solar panels. And in order to get up to the redstone solar panel, then we need 8 of the hardened ones. So by the time we get up here, there's quite a few leadstone solar panels that we would have needed to have made. And I think that's a great opportunity for us to really test out this logistics system. So what I've done is, on this level down here, I've set up a load of the logistics crafting tables, and what we can do is attach the crafting logistics pipes, which I've made a few of, onto here. I have to shift click these on, like so. In fact, if I can just get away from that machine behind me, that would be great. And I've not made quite enough, but no worries, it's enough for what we need for now. And then we can start to teach these crafting tables how to make the various bits and pieces. So for example, and you could use NEI to shift click these in, by the way. So for the photovoltaic cells, we need some panes, we need some electrotine and some iron nuggets. And then if you shift click this in, that will actually tell you that Yeah, we can make that. This ore dictionary type, I'm not sure what that is, but if you just click done, that will put the item in there. And now this crafting pipe, if we go into this and do import, that will now automatically tell it that that's what we're making. And then we can do the same over here as well. So for this one, we're going to want the leadstone solar core. So again, we can shift click that in, say done, and then we can go around the other side and import that one into this crafting pipe, and so on and so forth. So the next thing that we would need in order to automate the process of this is to actually have one that throws all of this together, because we've told it how to make the component parts. So the third one then, which was the one that we were on, we can go in there and we can just shift click this in, say done, and now we can pop around here and go along to the third one. Now I can see this could be getting quite a bit complicated if you've got quite a few of these set up, remembering which one has got which thing. And as you can see, it's automatically told it the photovoltaic cell is required and the leadstone solar core. And when I go up to the request system, it will automatically know, well, that's the plan anyway, that it needs to go into these other two crafting pipes first. So let's just go and test it and see if it works, and then we can move on and see if we can craft at the next item as well. So just get over here, give that a click with the crescent hammer, go into craft, and let's just see, we'll just order one of those, and that is saying that we are missing iron nuggets and steel nuggets. Now why is that? Now straight away I am going to assume that that's because the recipes that we've got set downstairs, which you took from NEI, have a different type of steel and iron than what we've got saved up here. So let's just grab a couple of these bits out and just double check what they actually are. So this is Tinker's Construct, this is Immersive Engineering, and if we pop down here and have a look at the crafting recipes that we set up, I bet they're different. So let's have a look at this one first of all. Right, so that's saying railcraft. So let's straight away, let's just put that in as that one. So now we've got the right version of that, and the lead nuggets is saying Thorncraft lead nuggets, which is fine because we put those in manually. Now that should work unless we ever end up with a different type of lead nugget. And where's the other recipe? Where were the iron nuggets? Ah, there we go. So then we'll put the Tinker's Construct iron nuggets in here, and hopefully that is now fixed. I've got to say it is starting to cause a little bit of a problem with these different types of nuggets. I'm surprised actually with the lead nuggets. I just want to quickly check that. So if we were to, in fact, we've already got some lead ingots there. So they are Industrial Craft 2, yeah. And then when it turns them into nuggets, they become Thorncraft. Okay, fine. Do you know what? Let's just see if we can request this now, and then we can move on. So select that, one of those, and it's still saying that we are missing. Oh, my bad. It's because I haven't updated the crafting pipes, I would imagine. So let's just redo those. So already I'm seeing that that one's fine. Already I'm seeing that this is quite a pain. So let's just get rid of all that out of there, re-import it. Can we import it? Yeah, there we go. And the first one was the one that we wanted to do as well. So just get rid of that. Let's re-import it. And that's now got the correct type of both of those nuggets in there. And fingers crossed, this is what was broken. Yes, it's quite picky. And yeah, I wish it was a little bit more generic, but about what it was selecting. But it is what it is. Right, there we go. So let's now request that, and that's fine. So that's now going to go away, and that will make us one of the leadstone solar panels. And then obviously what we'll do, we'll just wait for that to come out first. There we go. And obviously I'm going to turn that around a few times before I remember. So there is our first one of the leadstone solar panels. And obviously the next thing we can do is we can look at what the next solar panel is up the line. So solar panel, right, so the next one is the hardened one. So that just requires 8 of these leadstone ones that we've already got programmed in, and then one of these hardened solar cores. And a hardened solar core just takes a normal leadstone solar core and some of the invar nuggets. Now, let's just make sure that when we pick out the invar nuggets for this, wherever invar is, it's this one, that we are selecting the right type of invar nugget. Now, did I get any of those? Yes, so they are thermal foundation. So let's just pop down here and get that programmed in. If I can actually drop down there, that would be a bonus. And I think that's potentially the last spot. I know we've got 2, 3. I think we've got more spots than I thought we had left. Right, fine. So we'll use this one. And so we can pop in here, select that, select this, shift right click it in, and that's the thermal foundation. And then if we go into, I think it was that one, wasn't it? Yeah. So if we go into the corresponding pipe with our crescent hammer, and then we can import that in. Now that will make those. And then we can pop into this table and we can actually say, right, make us the actual table, because we've got all of the other components for this. So that's fine. So now we can go into the actual pipe, we can import that. And now we should be able to automatically make hardened tables. Now, obviously, the more complex this becomes, the longer it's going to take us to make stuff. And we can speed that up to some degree because you can change the crafting pipes out for the Mark II and Mark III, which increase the amount of items that are handled at a time. But just for now, I just want to see how quickly we can get this to work. So if we ask for the hardened one first of all, is this going to work first time? Yes, it is. And we should be able to pop down here actually and just see this working, because it's going to be quite a process. So it's shifting all the various bits about, and I kind of get a feeling that may actually have finished already. So it may not be as slow as I thought it was going to be, which, yeah, that's a bit of a bonus. So I didn't expect it. I'm just going to turn that around the right way first of all. Then we can pop in here, and there is our hardened solar panel. Good. So I think we should be good for this last one there. So this one, again, is the previous solar panel plus one of these redstone solar cores, which is just some of the electrum nuggets. Now we've got to be careful here because there's more than one type of this. So let's grab the, hopefully, thermal foundation ones. And let's just check what they are. So they are the thermal foundation ones. That's good. And I think we've got potentially only one more space left. So we might have to... Let's just double check. Is that... Yeah, that one's full. So we need to make in here the redstone solar core. And there we go. Yeah, so we've got the thermal foundation nuggets in there, which is good. And then we can just say click onto this and import that. Okay, good. And then we are going to need one more of the pipes. So give me a second and I'll grab one of those. Okay, so a couple of minutes later, and we've got ourselves some more of the crafting logistics pipes. So let's just attach those all the way along now. And just remind myself of where we were. So we got the required core. Now we just need to put in the recipe for the actual solar panel, which was this one. And should say shift click that in, like so, and then import. In fact, no, we didn't want to do that. Import that into the actual pipe, like so. And I will just double check that I did that with this pipe as well, which we did. And now we should be able to go and just automatically order the redstone solar panel. And hopefully it's not much slower than the last one, because even though it's only using the Mark 1 crafting logistics pipes, it was still a lot quicker than I thought that it would actually be. So here we go. We'll select one of those, give that a request, and you are missing lots of glass panes. Now, I probably could have foreseen that one coming, but yeah, we're going to need to go and make ourselves a load more glass panes. Okay, so we have now got the required amount of glass panes in there, so we should now be able to go straight back into here and select the solar panel, and we'll just send in the request for that. Good. Now that is off making that. Let's just see if we can actually catch this again in action. And there are all our modules, hopefully all flying about like so. And yeah, it's just going to go away. It's going to make that. Now, I think this is potentially going to be a little bit slower than what it was previously, because each time you increase the steps on this, you're loading the system up even more. We can see all of this stuff flying about all over the place. It does look pretty cool. I do like it. While I was waiting for those glass panes to be made, I just actually did do a quick check on one of the solar panels that were made already, just to see if it was compatible with immersive engineering. And yeah, thankfully it actually is. And that means we can hook it up to our existing system for now. Now, that isn't going to be the final solution. What we are actually going to do while we're just waiting for that is I'm going to make one of these redstone energy cells. If I can, in fact, let's in fact just type in energy cell, because that will make life a lot easier. So I'm going to make one of these redstone energy cells. Wherever we are, there we go. And that's just going to require an advanced circuit, which we've already made. Some of these diamantine electron tubes. I think we made one of those already, but yeah, thermionic fabricated recipe, pretty simple. A double layer capacitor, which is just a couple of the single layers, some energetic alloy, and then some blazing electron tubes, which again is just another thermionic fabricator recipe. And then we need to have a full energy frame, which we can use the fluid transposer to fill up an empty energy frame, which is just some electrum, some hardened glass, and a diamond. And rather than doing that on camera, because that is all sort of fairly simple stuff, in fact that looks like that's finished now, so let's get back upstairs. I'm going to make that in between episodes, and I'm going to set up an area just for this sort of new power source, and I'll probably make a whole bunch of those redstone energy cells, and then hopefully we are going to be able to start sort of moving away from, well, we'll keep the water wheels obviously, but moving away from our reliance on them, because as I say, they were great in the beginning, but each one of these massive structures is obviously only producing at maximum 88 RF per tick. And yeah, the solar panels, I didn't sort of double check actually the redstone, how much it does produce, but a few of those is now going to be far simpler to make. In fact, if we type in solar panel, that's going to be easier. Yeah, it's, what are they producing? 64 RF per tick. So it's nearly the same power output, but obviously it's a really small item. And now to say we've got these all hooked up, it's going to be relatively simple. Obviously, the only bit of a pain that we've had today with this is having to sort of go away and make loads of glass. But as I said, I am going to get a load of these machines linked up as well, because I've already sort of been through how we can link the machines up. And certainly the redstone furnace will be a pretty easy one. And as long as long as we've got sand in the system, that will be relatively straightforward. So there we go. There is our redstone solar panel. And we'll just go and pop that over where I did the test on the other one earlier, which is just here. So we just grab that one up and we'll pop the redstone one there instead. And that will now start filling up with 64,000 RF from the sun. And we can pop the wire connector on top. Now, it does look a bit crazy because it doesn't quite connect up, but do you know what? That's fine. To be fair, a lot of this stuff looks quite messy now. I do want to get this sorted out at some point in time, and I think going forward, we're probably going to try to move away from immersive engineering a bit and get into some of the more traditional sort of energy conduits and that, which we can easily sort of hide underneath, and we don't have these wires everywhere. But it's served us well, and yeah, we'll certainly keep them for a while. So that is now filling up. This is already filled up, and we should start to see some movement back on here with this filling up a little bit more. In fact, we probably need to connect that up. I don't quite know why I threw that on the floor, but I did. So if we connect that now up to our main system just here, again, yeah, so we can start to see that is now starting to fill this back up with power again. And even the one of these is only just managing it. So I think a bank of these is going to do us the world of good. But anyway, that is going to be it for this episode because we have kind of run out of time. And if you've enjoyed the episode, as always, drop us a like. And thanks ever so much for joining us. And until next time, take care. Bye.